Filmmaker Michael Moore said something I agree with. I know. I'll tell you all about it today on the Hollywood Conservative for the Rebel. Michael Moore, you all know him. He is the loud-mouthed, morbidly obese, far-left filmmaker, or as I like to call him, the Motor City Jabba the Hutt. As you can imagine, he and I do not align on much. However, prior to President Trump winning the election, he spoke and wrote many times about how he felt Donald Trump would win. He predicted that Trump would focus energy and ultimately win in formerly blue states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. He also admitted that Trump wasn't the problem, Hillary was. He talked about the fact that 70% of Americans at that time found Hillary Clinton to be untrustworthy and dishonest. He was one of the few people who, while he did not agree or even sympathize, he saw a climate in which Americans were growing increasingly disgruntled with the DC status quo and were looking to change things up. He voted for Clinton, he supported her, he campaigned for her, but he actually did predict that because of the zeitgeist of the era, Trump would ultimately beat Clinton for the presidency. So that is probably the single instance I have ever agreed with Michael Moore on until now. First, let me clarify that per my nickname comparing him to Jabba the Hutt, I have no warm, fuzzy feelings for this guy. I think he is grossly misguided, disingenuous, he is blindly and ignorantly liberal, and most of all, he's a crappy filmmaker. But he brought up a good point recently, and believe me, I'm just as shocked as you are. It hit me like a clothesline. This whole anonymous New York Times op-ed. First of all, the whole point of an op-ed is that there is an opinion attached to a person. Without the person, it is dubious at best, and at worst, it's just pure fiction. My initial theory was that a staff writer for the New York Times wrote the anonymous piece. I still think that that is more likely than someone within the administration writing it. Not that I don't think that there are plenty of cowards and unscrupulous people in DC. I just didn't feel in my gut that this person is who they say they are. But Michael Moore posited an interesting idea, that Trump or one of his associates wrote it themselves. Now, this notion wouldn't carry much weight with me if I didn't feel like this already happens. I firmly believe that every single thing that Trump says and does and tweets is 100% calculated and deliberate. So I don't think it's completely inconceivable that this was done as a distraction. Not just right now, but all the time. The mainstream media is rotating the same story and regurgitating coverage of a tweet or a tell-all book or something while they are watching and distracted by one hand. There's another hand over here that they're not watching. Things getting done by this administration, and the media oftentimes isn't privy to it because they are a bunch of curious cats watching a laser. At an event promoting Moore's new film, Fahrenheit 11/9, he said this: "If you want me to make a wild guess, Trump wrote it or one of his minions wrote it. He's the master of distraction. He's the king of the misdirect. If we've ever known anything by now, it's that he does things to get people to turn away. And the line that is most identifiable in terms of what he wants the public to believe, the line that says, 'Don't worry, adults are in the room.' The idea is to get him to get us to calm down and look away from what he's really doing." So yes, I agree with that, but it's like the picture of the old lady and the young woman. He sees this as a bad thing. His new film, Fahrenheit 11/9, by the way, compares the Trump presidency to the rise of Hitler. Yeah, real original, because we've never heard that ignorant and farcical, ridiculous comparison before. But I see it as a good thing. Trump is slowly and methodically checking things off his list. And the things on his list are the things that he talked about on the campaign trail. And since things he talked about on the campaign trail are the things that we voted for him for, you can imagine that we all are pretty pleased with what's happening. I know I am. We are experiencing sky-high economic prosperity. We are about to get another conservative judge on the Supreme Court. Trump has appointed so many conservative judges that he has actually flipped 2 circuit courts from liberal to conservative. And by golly, in most of America, normal America, not here in Los Angeles, patriotism is back in style. So yeah, Trump creating a distraction while he gets things done really doesn't seem that far-fetched or bad to me. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm Amanda Head, the Hollywood Conservative for the Rebel. If you enjoyed my commentary and want to hear more from all of us here at The Rebel, subscribe to our premium content at www.therebel.media/shows. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter for all of our latest news, and download our new app for The Rebel Media on the App Store. That way you will have instant and easy access to all of our latest videos and your favorite Rebel shows. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel.